Hello and welcome to the Pine Jog Orchids program. Today we're going to be deflasking our orchids. Once the orchids have grown tall enough to touch the sides and top of their containers, they are ready to be pulled out of their containers and begin the process of acclimating to the outside world in preparation for their life in the trees. Therefore, this process does not require the stale conditions of the hood. The materials required for deflasking: a sink, paper towels, a ruler, a teaspoon, a scale, a permanent marker, fertilizer, the non-slotted tray, the slotted tray, a piece of screening cut to fit into the slotted tray, the medium of choice, a spray bottle, a colander or strainer, and your science notebook. Deflasking can be done any place you have access to running water. The first thing you want to do before deflasking is to wash your hands and arms with soap and water, dry them thoroughly, and put on gloves. First, we will get our tub of orchids. We will remove the seal around the lid and take the lid off. The media that is inside of the tray could potentially clog your sink. Try to avoid getting any of it down the drain. You will remove the orchids one by gently lifting them out of the media and placing them into the colander, and the tub can be thrown into a trash. Rinse the orchids under cool, running water. Use great care when rinsing the orchids. You want to remove all of the charcoal media, but the roots are very tender and will break easily. Once all of the orchids are clean, pull them out of the colander and place them onto a paper towel. Gently pat them dry. Again, these orchids are very tender and will break easily. You will now randomly choose 10 orchids. We will start by measuring the longest leaf. The leaves are darker green and flat. Measure the longest root. The roots are generally lighter green and round. You will need to record the lengths of each leaf and root. Next, we will weigh the orchids. Be sure that it is set to 0. Place all 25 of your orchids, recording the weight in ounces. Prepare your tray. We will place the sheet of screening inside of the slotted tray. Place the slotted tray inside of the non-slotted tray. Next, take your medium and pour it into the colander and rinse it under cool running water. Then, evenly spread your media across the bottom of the tray. The orchids can now be placed into the prepared tray. Place them one at a time, roots down, leaves up. The roots do not need to be covered by the medium unless the orchid cannot stand up on its own. The leaves need to stay free of the medium. These orchids also like to be closely packed and benefit greatly from a densely packed tray. So place them close to each other. Once placed into the tray, we will prepare our fertilizing solution. Add half of a teaspoon into the spray bottle. Fill the spray bottle with cool, running water. The water inside the bottle should be a very light blue color. Agitate the bottle just a little to make sure all of the fertilizer is dissolved. When you are ready to spray your orchids, be sure that the nozzle setting is on mist and not direct spray. You may then mist the orchids across the entire top 50 times. All of the leaves are inside of the humidity dome. Place the humidity dome over the top of the tray. Place the orchid tray back onto your shelves for the next 3 weeks. It will sit with the humidity dome. You must be sure to water your orchids. Start with once per week, but monitor them. If the orchids seem dry or as if they are struggling, you may water the orchids twice per week, using the spray bottle and plain water only. After 3 weeks, you will remove the humidity dome completely. At this point, your orchids will need the fertilization process once again. And in 3 to 4 months, your orchids should be ready to move out onto the trees.